Taking a look there at Eric Jones' truck, he will be one of the busiest guys in Texas this weekend, but not too busy to stop by and talk with Hermie Sadler.
Well, Eric, what a day it's been for you. If there's been cars on the track, you've been out there. Have you navigated the duties you've had today and also focused on your truck as well?
Well, it's been a busy day for sure. This was the busiest one of the weekend, but you know, we fortunately got to do all the practicing and these things yesterday and get it done. So we've got a good Tundra. This qualifying effort was definitely a little bit better than we thought. Our single car speed hasn't been exactly where it needs to be the last month or so, but I think this is probably one of the best trucks we've had over the last 2 or 3 months, really. So we'll see how it goes here in the race. Obviously, Matt's really fast. He's got a really good truck underneath him. So we'll see what we can do in this race to see if we can get up there and at least give him a run for his money and keep this cushion in the points.
After the race at Martinsville, you came on the radio calmly and confidently and said, we got to have a little more. This is not going to be good enough. Have you guys made some gains this week, and how do you see this thing shaping up here, Phoenix and Homestead going down the stretch?
Yeah, definitely. After, Martinsville wasn't what we wanted, and, just a couple things went wrong during the day that didn't really let us, have a good finish, and obviously we lost a lot of ground to Matt. So, I think we've done some things during the week that'll hopefully get this thing a little bit better, and I think this qualifying effort shows a little bit that we've got our stuff a little bit better here the last couple weeks. So we'll work hard on it all night. Like we've been talking about all weekend, we got a good truck that'll race. So we'll see how that goes, and I think we'll definitely be, up in the top 3 and contending for this thing before the night's over.
That's Eric Jones, JR. He has a win here in the Xfinity Series.
Hermie, thank you very much. Guys, who do you think pulls this one out?
Well, here's my problem. I want to be watching teammates tonight because Ryan Blaney's there to win, Daniel Suarez is there to win, and so is Johnny Sauter. None of them are going to be helping our championship guys.
I like Jeb Burton. He's in a junior motorsports truck. That 00 is always fast, and the kid's hungry. Needs to run good.
And Texas always provides action for us. It's time to go racing under the lights. Ralph Shaheen, Phil Parsons, Michael Waltrip have the call from the booth. For Ray Dunlap and Todd Bodine, I'm John Roberts. Enjoy the race, everyone.
And of course, Texas is the Lone Star State. And tonight, when they drop the checkered flag, only one lone driver will be celebrating with the 6 shooters in victory lane.
Wide open, side-by-side into
This week, all eyes are on the Truck Series after Matt Crafton found victory in Martinsville.
Matt Crafton, 5th win of the year.
Inching his 88 team closer to Eric Jones in the 3-way points battle for the championship. Only 3 races remain. Time is running out, and tensions are higher than ever. Who will be the champion? And who will win in Texas? The green flag is about to wave. Next.
The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series roars into the Lone Star State. We're live from Texas Motor Speedway on FS1. Here's some drivers to keep an eye on tonight because we could have a first-time winner tonight, and it might be Daniel Suarez, who has finished 2nd here at Texas Motor Speedway before. Maybe tonight he shoots some pistols in victory lane. Tyler Reddick is fighting to stay alive in the title battle. The Daytona winner hopes to not repeat a frustrating June run here that was full of problems. Points leader Eric Jones has been on top of the standings for the last 6 straight races, but he's feeling the pressure mount as a championship approaches Homestead, Miami. Matt Crafton is a driver squeezing Jones. This master of the mile-and-a-half tracks has won 4 of 7 already this year. His gunslinger coolness could put him in victory lane at Texas Motor Speedway. Before we throw the green flag, let's head downstairs for opening ceremonies here at Texas.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your hats as the United States Army Reserve 2nd Battalion, 354th Regiment, 95th Division from Grand Prairie, Texas, presents our nation's colors. Please remain standing as Kevin Court with Texas Alliance Raceway Ministries offers our invocation.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day on earth, and we thank you for the great weather. We've come tonight as a free people in the greatest nation on earth, and we thank our men and women of our military who work to keep us safe. Let us always remember that that freedom was paid with the price. We ask your blessing tonight for safety over the evening. Be with the drivers, the crews, as well as the fans in the stands. We ask these things in your son's glorious name. Amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome Aledo, Texas native, 7-year-old Landon Nolte.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Let's hear it.
Well, we're working our way through. Back here in Texas, the drivers are making their way to the tracks as we're getting set to go racing on FS1 with a big night of NASCAR here in the Lone Star State. There's our clipboard of things that kind of keep an eye on as we work our way towards the checkers here tonight. First story, of course, is the championship contenders of Jones, Crafton, and Reddick, who will come out of here with the points lead tonight. And maybe there's somebody looking to spoil the party because there's at least 3 drivers with a shot of getting their first win here tonight. Hi, everybody. Welcome into our broadcast booth. Ralph Shaheen with Phil Parsons and Michael Waltrip as we get set to go. Let's begin with the championship conversation. And Phil, these 3 drivers have been a topic for basically the whole season.
Yeah, we really haven't talked about anybody else as far as the championship contenders go than our top 3. And we've talked about them since the very beginning of the season at Daytona. You know, of the 3, none of them have been worse than 5th in points in after any single race this season. Take a look here. You see Eric Jones, our point leader. 2 wins already, 17 top 10 finishes. Matt Crafton, 5 wins. That's why he's only 10 points back. And you see Tyler Reddick also with 2 wins. But right now, it's really anybody's race here. Matt Crafton has fired his first shot by getting the pole, but Eric Jones is doing triple duty here. Tyler Reddick is in a bit of a hole starting 17th, but he thinks he has a great truck and a great chance to win. And if it's not one of these 3 championship contenders, Michael, might it be a first-time winner?
Oh, I love it. You've got a great story there, Phil, with the guys battling for a championship. But there's some young guys that are trying to get to victory lane for the first time. One of them's name is Daniel Hemrick, one of the best short track racers in all of America. Won the All-American 400 a couple months ago. He's got a handful of top 5s and looking to get to victory lane in the trucks. Brandon Jones has been impressive since he's shown up. A couple of top 2 finishes for that young man. And Daniel Suarez, in his 9 truck starts this season, 8 of them have been in the top 10. He never messes up. He's steady, he's strong. I believe, I'm going to predict on a limb that one of those 3 go to victory lane tonight for a first-time winner here in Texas.
And that is stepping out on a limb.
Well, and it can certainly happen, but the harder part is maybe picking which one of those 3 could get it done. Well, before they can pull into victory lane, they got to fire up those engines. Let's head downstairs for the command.
Ladies and gentlemen, here to give our command to start engines for tonight's race is guest of Winstar World Casino and Resort, Scott Turnbow.
Drivers, start your engines!
There's not a better sound in the world than race car engines coming to life. The trucks from Texas. When we come back. Well, the truck's idling down on pit road, putting a little heat in those engines as we get ready to go racing here tonight. This mile-and-a-half racetrack is, it looks a lot like some of the others, but Michael, as you take a look at our Camping World track description, it's certainly not.
They're all very unique, Ralph, and this one especially because of the fact the pavement has worn out. These guys will be able to run wide open in those 24-degree banks, but as the tires wear, the foot will come up off the floorboard and you'll be driving sideways.
Ralph, as you can see right here, it's 147 laps, 220 miles. Our pit window, somewhere around 50 to 55 laps. These guys have 4 sets of tires in the pits, and a lot of the crew chief said if we get a green-white checker and we have a set of tires in the pits, we're coming in here.
You're going to need them.
That's because we're going to be driving sideways. Did y'all hear that? 180 miles an hour sideways? You darn right I want some fresh tires if I can get them.
Let's take a look at the lineup as the trucks now roll off as we get set for the Winstar World Casino Resort 350. Nat Crafton and Spencer Gallagher on the front row. He's going to lead the field to the green.
A couple of the young guys that I think can go to victory lane tonight. Brandon Jones, and there's Eric Jones, a championship contender right behind him.
Guys, how about Jeff Burton back here in the fourth row here? Let's see if we can try it with Jeff. Hey, Jeff Burton, Phil Parsons up on the FS1 booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got a copy, bud.
Jeb, you've won here. You finished second. You've got a pole in the truck series. How excited are you to get in that 00 truck here tonight?
I'm pumped up, man. These guys do an awesome job with this 00 truck. Can't thank Kelly and Dale and Gene Haas and Joe Custer and Cole Custer for letting me get behind this thing. Been working hard on it all weekend, and hopefully we can go get the job done here tonight.
All right, buddy. Have a good one.
All right, thank y'all.
Tyler Young had an issue with his engine earlier today as we look all the way back through the field. We've got some great onboard looks for him tonight, too, Michael.
Yeah, let's hop on board with Tyler Reddick trying to chase down a championship, but he's back in the 17th spot. He's got the Ford EcoBoost camera inside of that Ford truck, and he'll be charging to the front.
Why don't we just ride along with our championship leader right now, Eric Jones? He will start his KBM Toyota from the 5th spot. He's never had a top 10 finish here at this racetrack in the truck series.
Hey, Phil, come on up with me to the front row. Let's go along with Spencer Gallagher in the Allegiant Travel Chevy Silverado. He's going to start second, and this kid's got a lot of energy. He'll need to contain that energy early and not make a mistake.
How about our runner-up right now in the point standings, Matt Crafton? 4 wins already on the mile-and-a-halfs, including here back in June. He needs one more win. He gained 13 points last week at Martinsville with that win. He needs another one here.
2 men covering the action for us down on pit road. Hermie Sadler, Vince Welch. We can off our coverage with Hermie.
Well, thank you, Ralph. What a championship battle we have here in the Camping World Truck Series. Eric Jones, P1. But right now, Matt Crafton trying to make even more history in this series to win 3 consecutive championships. He needed maximum points last week at Martinsville. That's what he got. He got a win, made up 13 points, 5th win of the season. He chopped that points deficit down to 10 points heading into Texas this weekend, where he's already won 2 times. Now, the other driver in championship contention, Tyler Reddick, he salvaged a couple good finishes, but last year, early this year, June, in Texas, a lot of issues for Tyler Reddick on pit road. They had a shifter issue, multiple stops on pit road. Not the kind of finish they can afford tonight to remain in championship contention. We'll see if the 19 and the 88 can continue to put pressure on the 4 of Eric Jones. Vince?
Well, Hermie, and that 4 of Eric Jones is really doing something special today. Not only is he the championship leader trying to win the first driver's title for Kyle Busch Motorsports, but he's also making NASCAR history. At just 19, he's the youngest driver ever to run triple duty at a NASCAR weekend. The 19-year-old running the number 20 Sprint Cup car in place of Matt Kenseth, who's suspended for 2 races. Jones qualified 6th for Sunday's Cup race earlier today. Jones is also running the Xfinity Series car for Joe Gibbs Racing. They'll race that machine tomorrow. Jones won the Xfinity Series race here in June. And, of course, tonight he's in the truck for Kyle Busch Motorsports, trying to build on his 10-point lead. Jones has won twice already this season, and with that slim 10-point advantage, he needs another stout performance this evening.
Well, Spencer Gallagher is going to be rolling up on that front row there. You see him, that blue 23. Let's hear the radio conversation going on in there.
All right, buddy, let's have us a nice, smooth, clean race tonight. Got a good truck. Keep us posted what you got. We'll do our best to make it better for you. Try and keep up with the racetrack all night tonight. We should be there at the end. Have a good, fun, safe race. Guys in the pits have all our stuff ready to go. There. Thanks for the incredible truck, boys. Let's do it tonight.
I talked about Gallagher's energy and his excitement. You can tell he's ready to roll. These races are fairly quick, Phil. You can throw one away early, though. You got to be careful on these starts. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be chaotic. We'll see three-wide racing on this first lap.
How about what Vince was telling us about with Eric Jones? How would you like to be 19 years old and be able to do triple duty here at Texas?
Being 19 would be cool. No matter what I was doing, that'd be all right. But,
I think we'd all take that.
Having the opportunity that Eric Jones has, and then the way he's able to take advantage of that opportunity. He jumped in that 18 car for Kyle Busch and was solid. He got in Denny Hamlin's car, never even sat in it before at Bristol, ran a great race. This kid has so much talent, but I'm telling you what, Phil, Matt Crafton has him bounce back on his heels a bit. Crafton sitting on the pole, Crafton winning last week. All the talk in the garage area is about the speed of the 88 truck, and Eric Jones is hearing every bit of it.
We talked a little bit about it last week at Martinsville. Matt Crafton's walking around with more confidence than I've ever seen in Matt, and he's been around here since 2001.
He's a two-time champion, back-to-back titleist. And he's trying to take this crown out from underneath Eric Jones. And Tyler Reddick starting deeper in the field, doing everything he can to keep his name in the fight all the way to Homestead. 3 races left to go in the championship for 2015. Who will come out of Texas with the points lead? The green flag waves. We're live on FS1 and racing in Texas.
You can see some tremendous wheel spin there by Gallagher on the outside of the front row. These straightaways are fairly flat. If you get in the gas too hard because you're ready to go, those tires will spin. You got to be careful. He's losing a couple of spots.
Here comes that 3 wide you were talking about.
Yeah, we're going to see this all night. How about Hemrick going for the lead?
Down to the bottom, going into 3.
You see that 14 truck bottoming out. He was bottoming out during qualifying. Air pressure's down a little bit now for the start of this race.
Crafton leads the first lap of this race.
Here's Jones right behind him. The points leader not going to let his nemesis get away here tonight.
I talked to Eric Jones's guys down in the garage area before qualifying. He said, I think we have something that can run with that, Crafton, and everybody else here.
What a great job Hemrick's doing down on the bottom. You can see the sparks flying, but he's holding it down wide open and keeping pace with our leader, Crafton.
Suarez in that orange 51 sits back there in 4th. Gallagher right behind him on the outside.
Or Suarez thought about taking a peek down at the bottom to make it 3 wide, thought better of it in that 51 orange truck.
That's Brandon Jones in the 33, the blue and black truck. He holds down the 6th position right now.
What a talent he is. A couple of second-place finishes already this year, and now he's battling up there towards the top 5 here in Texas.
And how about Peters? Timothy Peters, the red and white 17. He's been a winner in recent weeks. He'd like to steal another one out from under these guys.
Phil, do you worry about maybe doing some damage to the bottom of that 14 truck? What could that be, Dragon? Is it a truck arm mount or a tailpipe?
I would think it's a truck arm mount, something like that. And we saw it again, saw it in qualifying, and we knew that he would have an issue when he got here to race time when they let the air pressure down in these tires.
We're seeing something else we've seen before. 1.5-mile racetrack, and the 88, that yellow truck, gap in the field early on in this run, and already Crafton's shown his dominance.
Well, and I like the way Spencer Gallagher's truck's looking early. He fell back on the start because he spun his tires, but drives easily around the outside of Hemrick, and now he'll set his sights on the 4 truck of Eric Jones. Gallagher looks like he's going to be stout all night.
Guys, keep an eye on that 51 truck. Moves to the inside of Hemrick. He was one of the fastest trucks in practice yesterday. A lot of the guys in the garage here think he's a guy that may get that first win.
I would agree with everybody. This truck is so impressive with that young man behind the wheel. I bet you Daniel Hemrick's happy to get up off the bottom. Maybe that truck won't bottom out so much. Well, there goes that theory.
Yeah.
That baby's low.
There's a point where you go, that's just tire temperatures coming up, and all of a sudden you go, yeah, it looks more than that.
Yeah, that's what worried me in qualifying, because the air pressures are all the way up in qualifying, so that's what worried me about that truck.
Hermie, the 88, already putting down some blistering speed on these laps.
Well, Ralph, you guys mentioned the confidence of Matt Crafton in this 88 team, especially his relationship with crew chief Junior Joyner. But to add to that, listen to the numbers on this chassis number 48. He's already won Atlanta. He won Texas with it this spring. A pole in Vegas. Could have gone to victory lane. So a lot of confidence in a very proven 88 truck out front right now, Vince.
Well, and we talked about the sparks underneath that 14, and Daniel Hemrick just came over the radio. He said he doesn't feel like it's upsetting the truck, maybe making it a little bit free across the center, but they just came over and told him we're going to pay a little closer attention to it over the course of the next couple of laps. At this point, they don't think it's a major issue, but certainly something we'll keep an eye on.
Vince, tell him it's upsetting Phil and I. We've trucked stuff like that before, and it usually doesn't turn out well, but that team knows what they're doing. But he doesn't have the pace, it doesn't appear, that our front four guys do, Phil. Those trucks of Crafton, Jones, Gallagher, and Suarez are really driving away.
There's the 19 of Reddick, that blue truck on the high side, right behind the yellow 05 of John West Townley. You're on board with Reddick. He's that third driver in the championship chase. He's moved himself up to 13th.
And right ahead of him, that's Jeff Burton that Phil talked to on the green flag.
Did that truck get out of shape there, the 00?
I've been watching Jeff. He's been sideways a few times. You can see right in that battle with Townley and sideways, Jeff Burton is one of our guys trying to track down a championship. He's moving forward, though, Phil. Started 17th. He's up inside the top 15 now.
A lot of the crew chiefs said they thought this racetrack would be a little bit loose when they started. That's what we see a side-by-side battle for third, with Suarez, the 51 on the inside, Spencer Gallagher, the 23 on the outside.
Yeah, and make a note of that. You saw Suarez go around the bottom and make the pass. That's very difficult to do. You get hung down there like we saw Daniel Hemrick at the beginning of the race. If he's got a fast enough truck to drive around on the bottom, he's going to be tough.
That was the black number 6 of Norm Benning there. The leaders are lapping past. You see Crafton way up ahead in the distance, already entering turn 1 as Gallagher just about crosses the start-finish line.
Yeah, we talk about these guys being able to run wide open. Here we are 10 laps into the race. We heard Spencer Gallagher have to get out of that throttle. No more wide open for these guys.
10 laps into the book. And already, Matt Crafton, gunslinger cool. Look at those eyes, leading here at TMS. New leader here at Texas and a plot twist in the championship. Eric Jones has reeled in Matt Crafton and blew right by him in turns 1 and 2.
We watched Jones make ground on the high side. Crafton saw that in his mirror, said, I'll try the high side. Eric Jones ducks to the bottom, makes that pass look easy.
Yeah, Rudy Fugel told me that truck will work on the bottom, it'll work in the middle, it'll work on the top. We're riding along with Matt Crafton here. He sees that Ford truck in the mirror. So I'm going to run up high, like you said, Michael.
There's a lot of racing yet to go, Phil, and we know how good the combination of Matt Crafton and Junior Joyner are when it comes to adjusting on that 88 truck. At Martinsville last week, they gave him the right adjustment at the right time that allowed him to win that race, and now they'll need another adjustment if they're going to run with Eric Jones.
Here's Tyler Reddick in that 19, and he's closing in. He's on the backside of Timothy Peters, which now, Vince, means he's fighting for 9th and a spot in the top 10.
Well, and he started 17th. That's an indication of how well this Ford truck is handling right now for Tyler Reddick. His team applauding him, telling him the truck is perfect. He's doing a great job, and he's passing these cars with patience. They know it's a 147-lap race. We got a long way to go. They believe they've got a truck to contend, especially over the long run. He's picking them off one at a time.
You know, we talked to him during qualifying when he qualified 17th, and he wasn't even remotely worried about qualifying 17th. He said, we've got a really good truck for the race tonight. Extremely positive.
And just think about the difference, though, Phil. We know they ran wide open in qualifying. We've already heard guys well out of the throttle in the turns during this race. It takes a different truck to run well like that. So I guess he had his eyes set on the longer run.
And here's another truck to keep an eye on, a teammate to the 19, the 29 of Ryan Blaney. Kay's come up from 15th to 5th already, and we said earlier in our qualifying show, we think this is a driver that could spoil the party as well. Wouldn't be a first-time winner.
Absolutely. These guys really felt like they had a great truck as well, so we may not qualify all that great, but we have a lot of race speed, and he's certainly showing it.
Well, he drove one of the races of the year at Bristol earlier this season. Jumped the restart a bit in NASCAR's eyes. They took him to the rear, and he came back and won the race.
And you can't do that, can you?
I don't think so.
Hermie, what else can you tell me about our leaders here tonight?
Well, the 4 of Eric Jones, if you just think back a couple races ago to Las Vegas, these guys changed engines after qualifying because they did not have the speed they needed to compete, and how much ground they've made up between there and here tonight at Texas. He likes his truck a little bit tight in the center, free on exit, and actually when he got out front, the truck got even a little bit freer through the center of the corner and exit. So they're looking forward to a little bit of an adjustment when they come to pit road. The opposite for Matt Crafton, the 88 obviously passed by the 4 and moved back to second. His truck's a little bit on the snug side. He has turned off his left rear tire blower to try to let the air pressure in the rear of this truck grow a little bit more to make the truck drive more to his liking, but the balance not quite right on Matt Crafton.
And that's where Matt Crafton is so good. He's letting his team know exactly what adjustment he needs, and Junior Joyner can tell by the sound of his voice how much of an adjustment it'll take.
This is a great battle here. It's the fight over third. That's Daniel Suarez down to the bottom in the 51 as you ride with Spencer Gallagher in the blue and yellow 23. We're coming right back to Texas Motor Speedway for more of the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Back here on FS1, Texas Motor Speedway over in Fort Worth, Texas, the 5th largest city in the state of Texas. As we watch this battle here for 4th between 5th place Ryan Blaney, who continues to move up, and that 29 to the inside. He's going to go right for 4th as he tries to push past Spencer Gallagher's 23.
You talked about the move for Ryan Blaney all the way up from 15th at the start here in 27 laps into a battle for 4th.
Yeah, and this is a very talented race car driver, Ryan Blaney. He can get the job done. He knows, too, Phil, exactly what adjustments to call for. So this start of the race, we've seen a big transition. Trucks that were really fast, wide open by themselves in qualifying to the guys that have the setup to be able to let off in the turns and work traffic and make their way to the front. When they all come to pit road, get a reset, it'll be interesting to see who can prevail after that.
And let's remind people why Ryan Blaney is in that truck. Austin Terrio had a horrible wreck here at Las Vegas a few weeks ago. Has not been medically cleared yet to get back in that truck. He's hoping to get in that truck for Homestead, but now Ryan Blaney jumped in his truck at the last minute.
And this is Blaney's teammate, Tyler Reddick, racing for a championship. And it certainly doesn't hurt anything, Vince, to have Ryan Blaney driving your team truck, giving you some ideas about setups. This is a very talented race car driver here, Reddick. What's he saying over the radio?
Well, they really like the way things have gone here in the early going, encouraging Tyler Reddick, who started 17th. Now he's inside the top 10, trying to build on that and continue to close the gap in the championship. Use the draft, they tell him. You can see he's probably picking up a little bit of a toe here, and also telling him that he's faster when he runs the bottom in 1 and 2. So getting a lot of help from the spotter stand, and Tyler Reddick continues to move up.
Drivers closing in behind him, though. Here comes Hemrick in that 14. And the 0-0 of Burton right there as well. Jeb is in 11th.
Remember, we saw Hemrick battling for the lead early on. He's fallen off just a little bit. Jeb Burton now has him in his sights. Jeb just outside of the top 10 in that 0-0 Chevrolet.
Yeah, his truck was really loose at the start of this race, trying to battle the back end of that thing from coming around, and fell back outside the top 10. Now he's trying to work his way solidly back inside of the lead trucks.
Burton making his first series start since Homestead of 2014. Hemrick still sparking them underneath that truck.
There's another truck that's moved up nicely. The 98 of Johnny Sauter started back in the 13th position. Now is running 7th, getting some heat from Timothy Peters. Tim likes that high road. Look at the momentum he gains right in the center toward exit. He's going to make that pass.
Vince, how about Johnny Sauter's 98?
Well, they've been trying to get a handle on that truck throughout the course of the weekend, just trying to get it the way Johnny likes it, and he knows knows what he wants. He has won here twice, swept the races here at Texas in 2012, and there's not been many that have been better than him over the course of the last 8 or 9 races. The last 9 races, 8 top 10s for that 98 team. They're closing strong. Remember, Sauter will leave this team at the end of this season. He'd like nothing better than to put a 1 in the win column before he's done.
Guys, remember now, we run 33 laps. We can go about 50 laps on this first stop, and we had 2 sets of green flag pit stops here back in June, so this racetrack has a green feel to it, Hermie.
Drivers are communicating with their crew chiefs about what they may need on the first pit stop. The 88 started out a little bit on the tight side, couldn't get the truck to turn, but as he runs through this fuel run, this is what he's telling his crew chief, Junior Joyner.
This keeps driving itself in a circle. This needs a little bit of left rear drive, you know what I mean? I'll figure something out, though. I mean, I'll run him back down here in a minute, but that's what we need, just a little bit there, left rear. I got you covered, baby.
He needs left rear drive off the corner. His crew chief says they'll get him fixed up when they come down pit road.
And he also said, I got you, baby. I told you those two are on the same page when it comes to communicating. That means that Junior Joyner knows exactly what Matt needs for an adjustment. Even though Matt probably doesn't know what the adjustment will be, Junior's got him covered. I love when a crew chief and a driver have that type of relationship. I got you, baby. That's what you want to hear as a driver.
Here's Jones. Just inside of 3 seconds the gap between first and second. Closing in on that first round of pit stops here at Texas Motor Speedway. The college football playoff rankings are out, and we've got a huge weekend of college football action tomorrow, highlighted by a Big 12 matchup between 2 undefeated teams as 8th-ranked TCU battles 14th-ranked Oklahoma State. Then in prime time, 12th-ranked Utah takes on Washington. It all begins tomorrow at 11:30 Eastern, right here on FS1.
Got you covered in the fall. Little football, little NASCAR. This is a good time of year.
Absolutely. Now, while we were away, watch John Hunter Nemechek in the black 8 here. That's Hemrick on the bottom.
They're going to approach the 0-8 of Corbin Forrester, and John Hunter said, hey, I've got to keep going. I have to keep my momentum. A little bit of a tight squeeze there.
So many good stories early in this race about guys that have trucks way better in race trim than they did in qualifying, and trucks that are struggling like the 00. It looks like the 8, Vince, is having a little bit of issues as well.
Well, they are all ready to come get some tires, I can tell you that, and they're about 10 laps away from doing so. And the 8 of John Hunter Nemechek finished second last week in Martinsville, bringing some momentum in here to Texas. But he says it's a bad vibration, and they can't wait to come get it addressed. That 8 of John Hunter Nemechek.
And guess who's coming to pit road? The 88 of Matt Crafton.
These guys have slowed down 2 seconds since the start of this race. For every lap Matt Crafton can stay out there longer than Eric Jones, he will gain 2 seconds as we watch Cameron Haley leave his pits. Hermie, what's going on with that 88? What are they going to do?
Well, he's been free center exit. Junior Joyner, you heard him on the radio. They will fix him up, they said. 4 tires. They're going to try to do it with air pressure and a wedge adjustment on the right side. Also going into the left rear and a little bit of wedge to the left rear. He needs more forward drive. They're going to try to give it to him. 4 tires, Sunoco fuel. He's down and away.
You see the way Junior does it? A little bit of wedge, a little bit of air pressure. It isn't one adjustment. He throws 4 or 5 different things at it. This stop's very crucial to see how your truck reacts to the adjustment you make.
Here comes Jones in the 33. Peters in the 17. Sauter's in. Hemrick's in. Ben Kennedy is in as well.
Jones there was either not going fast enough or Peters was speeding. There was definitely a differential in their time or their speed down pit road, Herm.
The 17 of Timothy Peters has not said a word until about 2 laps before he pitted. It was a little bit on the free side like we've heard a lot. Brandon Jones in the 33, he's already left his pit stall. Free on entry, snug on exit. He came down pit road and gave up the 4th spot, did the 33.
Catch your breath, Hermie. Here comes some more. Spencer Gallagher's on pit road. Now the 00 of Burton, as well as the Las Vegas winner, John West Townley in his 05.
And the John West Townley's got the orange cone hung to his nose. He ran right over the cone while he was pitting, has drug it all the way to his pit stall there, Vince.
Well, it's been an issue for that 05 of John West Townley, getting way too loose, so they're going to make adjustments to try to help him with the balance, air pressure, and chassis adjustments for JWT. He's one of those first-time winners this season. They get the cone out of there. That'll help his aero, that's for sure. We'll see what he can do from here.
He'll have to come back to pit road. He missed the commitment line, took out the orange cone, and drug him all the way down pit road with him.
Hermie, how about Ryan Blaney's 29?
He's made a pretty impressive drive towards the front, Ralph. He's loose in turns 1 and 2, tight in turns 3 and 4. He's having to work the throttle in 3 and 4. Here's the 29, 4 tires and fuel. He's down and away. Eric Jones also is a little bit on the free side, right in the center. He doesn't want to tighten up too much, though, because he likes the speed. His truck is generating 4 tires. They're making adjustments with air pressure on the 4. Very slow on the left side. Had trouble getting the left side up. That'll cost him some track position on the racetrack.
Yes, that's going to be very costly for sure for the number 4 of Eric Jones.
These guys all had enough gas to go a little bit further, Phil, but when Matt Crafton came to pit road, he forced everyone else's hands to get there as well because he's making so much time out on the racetrack with those new tires.
Watch the problems on pit road here on the left side for that Ford truck. He's going to end up losing over a straightaway to Matt Crafton because of coming in later and trouble on pit road.
You can see it was
that jack under there, Michael.
Yeah, the jack man just didn't get the jack under and get the truck up, and that cost them a lot of precious time. Plus, if you add in what Crafton had going on with new tires for a lap or so, it could be more than a straightaway, Phil.
Reddick comes off the lead down to pit road, and Vince, here he comes to get his service.
Well, a bonus point for Tyler Reddick for leading laps, but they reminded the crew and the driver, we've got to execute this pit stop. Truck is a little bit tight, so they made a track bar adjustment going up to help him free up a bit. It's a 4-tire change for Tyler Reddick. Clean.
Yeah, that's what they wanted, Vince. They wanted a smooth stop, and they got it. John Hunter Nemechek listed as the race leader. Here comes John West Townley in that yellow 05 with his pass-through, taking care of the penalty assessed for picking up that cone. Here's Hunter. John Hunter Nemechek down on pit road, Vince.
What a nice job they've done with this team on a smaller budget than many of the other big boys up and down pit lane. We mentioned he was second a week ago in Martinsville. Right now, he's just way too free, especially if he wants to run the bottom. He has to lift too much through the center. Chassis adjustment, air pressure, 4 tires for John Hunter Nemechek.
He is away.
We talked about the time that Eric Jones lost on pit road. There's the 88, our leader right now, Matt Crafton, almost 6 seconds ahead of Eric Jones. He pitted 4 laps earlier and had less trouble on pit road.
Yeah, Eric Jones had a 3.18 second lead on Crafton right before the stops began. Here's Jones trying to make up that gap. The orange cone taking a ride here on FS1. Well, there you see it. That debris right there in the lower left corner of your screen is why we have our first caution of the night.
Looks like a slinky.
Yeah, it does. And the orange cone's back.
I got to tell you, I was really worried.
Concerned about
Weren't
that.
you concerned for the orange cone? Dangerous spot being the orange cone out there. All by your lonesome.
I sent him a note. He said he had to run through the infield care center and he'd be right back on the spot. What's Matt Crafton saying? Do they pit here, Phil? What's going on?
I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I feel like they're probably not going to come because they only have like 5 laps. We have about 10, you know? What are you thinking? I don't know. So I was asking you. I mean, it plays into the cycle that we have enough tires, you know, to where we can come.
Yeah, but it's a bit of a risk too, Phil, because we talked about the importance. That's why they want to come get them now with 10 to go. But if you take some now and then get a set on your next scheduled pit stop, then that only leaves you 1 set to the very finish, and golly.
But what if we get another caution at 25? We know they're going to come, and then we're still, you know, a long way away. We're still 70 laps away from the end of the race with only 1 set left.
Hermie, what do you think?
They've had a really spirited discussion between these two. You can tell they have a lot of respect for each other. But when I went up to the pit box just a moment ago, Junior Joyner shook his head no. Says they're not coming to pit road. Would have to see if he was trying to fake out the rest of the field, but they have said they are not coming to pit road.
Yeah, but he is trying to save some fuel. But I agree with that. Let's don't use that extra set of tires. Maybe you'll give up a little bit to some of the guys that come to pit road if they do. But remember, there's only about 6 or 7 green flag laps for some of Eric Jones and some of the other guys.
There are a couple of them trying to fake some of the others out. One of them, of course, was Crafton. And it looks like the other truck that was doing that might have been Brandon Jones back there. We'll be right back for a restart. Working our way through the first caution period of the night here. A lot of the teams trying to figure out what they were going to do about tires. Let's take a look at our Ford track facts for tonight. They've had a pretty good run so far, the guys at the Blue Oval.
We've talked about the 2 wins for Reddick. We've talked about Blaney's win at Bristol. And how about Joey Logano, who dominated the race at Martinsville, first race there this year?
And I just love the speed of these Fords. Tyler Reddick keeping right in that championship battle. He's been strong during the course of this race. We've got a great battle at the front for the championship. This is good stuff for the Truck Series. You love the manufacturers all to come to town and battle. We see fast Chevys, Toyotas, and Fords in this series. Well, we're saving a little bit of gas under caution because you never know, you never can have too much gas when it comes down to the strategy it might take to win this race. We saw Crafton doing that, but now he's at a bit of a disadvantage. Remember, he pitted a couple laps before everyone else, and we see how much the tires fall off. So Matt Crafton on the front row could be a bit of a sitting duck here for Eric Jones.
Yeah, I think Eric Jones with 4 less laps on his tires, I think he's definitely in the driver's seat here because we've seen these tires fall off as much as half a second in 3 laps. Now, they eventually stabilized to about 32 flat. These guys were able to run almost 30 flat on fresh tires.
That restart zone here, 180 feet they have to work with.
Yeah, it used to be 90. They've doubled that. Tyler Reddick, a nice move, started 17th up into the top 10.
Did you hear him spinning the tires there? That's what these guys are faced with when they get into that 180 feet restart zone. You want to get the gas down as soon as you can and as hard as you can, but it's a delicate balancing act keeping those tires from spinning. That's how much power these trucks have.
There you see the restart zone on the left side of your screen. Chevrolet Pace truck about to head to pit road. Crafton and Jones will lead them into the zone, and we'll be back to green. Here we go. Ready to enter that zone. We're off.
Ryan Blaney, the 29, pull right up on the tailgate of the 88 of Crafton.
Nice push for Crafton from Blaney. But now Jones on the bottom is rolling, and he's going to give Eric Jones ahead of him a push.
Remember now, 4 more laps on his tires. Matt Crafton has than Eric Jones.
But Crafton's going to drive around the high side and take the lead.
Keep an eye on Christopher Bell back there in the black and orange 54. He's starting to suddenly move up using that high side line, picking off a few.
Yeah, we had 3 trucks make a pit stop and put tires on in that caution. Christopher Bell was one of them.
And you're going to go to town on those new tires. Look at Bell just driving right around the outside of Peters, heading toward the top 5 with those fresh tires.
Reddick back here in this traffic. You're riding with him. That's John Hunter Nemechek just in front of him in the black 8.
Yeah, Reddick lost a little bit of ground on this restart. He restarted 10th. He's back to 13th and may have lost another spot to Cameron Haley, who came to pit road and put tires on.
And a little bit of contact there with Haley and Nemechek. John Hunter squeezed in between Haley and Sauter in there. Wow, boy, that's a crazy group in front of Reddick there, Vince.
Well, and that 13 and the 8, along with the 54, all pitted a second time. The 8 took fuel only, but the 13 and the 54 also put on fresh rubber. Boy, everybody wants a fresh tire. The fresh tires, if they can get them, makes a huge difference with these trucks. As you guys have noted, the tires drop off dramatically lap after lap.
Daniel Suarez hustling that orange 51 on the bottom side of the racetrack. He tucks right in behind Blaney.
And look at the differing lines, and that's the tires. You get on fresh tires, you're going to go wherever they're not. You're going to go high or low all over this racetrack. Now it's a battle for the lead as well.
And it's a good one. Crafton hangs on. You can see just to the outside on the right, there sits Jones in his number 4, stalking his nemesis in the championship fight.
I think Crafton did a pretty good job so far keeping that Ford truck behind him with those little bit older tires.
Yeah, but just remember the long list of adjustments Junior Joyner called for on that truck. We changed wedge. We did a little track bar. We took some air out of our tires. That was a lot of work, and that's how you win races. You got to throw a lot at it at first, even if it's just minor adjustments, but many different ones to see how the truck responds.
And Bell in that black and orange 54, Phil, as we talked about, came in, grabbed that linked set of tires, made some adjustments. Look, he's already up to 5th, and you and I were commenting prior to that, he wasn't even in the top 10. And now we go to the battle for the lead, and it changes here at Texas as Jones goes to the front.
Just a matter of time before those fresher tires. And again, we're only talking about 4 laps, guys. Just 4-lap fresher tires for Eric Jones.
That's why these racers love this track so much. There's so many options. You can pull a little bit of a different strategy and try to gain an advantage. You can run different lanes, Hermie, to gain advantages. There's just so much going on out there.
It really is. And keep an eye on that 51, Daniel Suarez. He was really loose at the end of that green flag run. His crew chief, Jerry Baxter, came in when they came down pit road. They tightened that truck up, but he has been digging around the bottom of the racetrack and driving that truck on the edge, but he likes the speed of it. He just moved past another competitor up to the 4th position right now for the 51. Actually, 3rd is Suarez, moving forward with a loose truck, but much better than before they came to pit road.
And look at this group back here. They got Peters in the 17, Reddick in the 19, Nemechek in that 8, and Haley in the 13. Now, watch this replay from moments ago. Keep your eyes on John Hunter's number 8.
Boy, John Hunter got really loose and actually got up against the outside wall.
These trucks do not want to handle when you've got all that dirty air, and this would be a gaggle, right? I mean,
totally a gaggle.
We've got a bunch of trucks battling over space. Look at John Hunter barely hanging on to that truck.
And how about Reddick right behind him, 3rd in the championship? And he saw all that take place, could have saw the end of his night had John Hunter Nemechek not been able to gather it back up. Sauter running with Reddick, the two of them battling over 10th.
This is a little racer that could, man. He will not give up. Started 17th, charged to the front. Now he's found himself a home inside the top 10 and looks like he's going to be able to get more up toward that top 5. I love that.
Squabbling over a spot in the top 5 is a 0-0 of Burton and Christopher Bell, who Vince is really taking advantage of that pit stop just before the green.
Well, and this is a particularly special night for Christopher Bell as well. He's from Norman, Oklahoma originally. It's about 150 miles from here. The first time he ever saw a NASCAR race, it was here at Texas Motor Speedway. A lot of family and friends here. And as you guys said, remember, he did come for that second pit stop and get those tires. So he has fresher tires than the 0-0 of Jeb Burton, and he is putting them to use. Christopher Bell, who was announced recently as a full-time driver for Kyle Busch Motorsports in this series next year.
The Eldora winner started 14th when the green came back out and finds himself in the top 5. Everybody chases the 4, the points leader at the front in Texas. Leader and points leader Eric Jones finished 10th at the last round in Martinsville just a week ago. Lost a lot of points, but he's leading here tonight. And here's the battle for 5th. And look at Tyler Reddick down to the bottom in the blue 19.
It is amazing how fast that truck is right now. Restarted 10th, dropped back to 13th or 14th. Now he's making his way up in a battle for the top 5.
And he's just driving to him when he gets there. Bit of a side-by-side moment. Anytime a truck gets really down on that right side, it makes you really loose. We saw Christopher Bell close in on Reddick on the low side. Reddick decided he better back out of it a bit.
Jeb Burton in this group as well.
Yeah, they certainly improved on that 0-0 truck. We saw him just around the 10th place that early part of the run. Joe Shear made some good adjustments to that truck, has him up here battling for the top 5.
I just love the way this 19 truck looks. He can point it anywhere. It's really difficult to go from the high side across the middle of the racetrack, but he's making it work. Let's hop on board our Ford EcoBoost camera and look at the view out the front of it. Man, that's a good look. Seeing those two trucks, knowing you're better than them, just biding your time to grab the spot.
Able to use a lot of throttle through the center of the corner. See the momentum he gets up off the corner, and Jeb Burton bounces off the wall.
Boy, he slapped it pretty good.
I'd be a little bit cautious if I was Reddick, getting on the outside of Jeb after him bouncing off the wall. I don't see where there's any tire rub right now, but he's able to get by him now.
That was Jeb talking right there.
I was going to say just that. Looked like he was too tight and got in the wall a little bit off. I'm glad Jeb did that for us. Watch this thing slide right out late. You can see it's in a four-wheel drift.
Watch it from the 19. This is what Reddick saw.
This will make your heart skip a beat, huh, Phil?
We saw him gaining on him through the center of the corner.
That's twice tonight he's had a guy in front of him get up into the wall. We saw John Hunter Nemechek do that a little while ago.
Now
here's Reddick now attacking Bell on the 54.
Remember now, Christopher Bell has a little bit fresher tires than Reddick does, but Reddick's able to close in on him.
Yeah, I was impressed, Phil, how Bell was able to cut through traffic on that restart, take advantage of those fresh tires. About the only one that could really do that. We saw Cameron Haley, for example. He's stuck back outside the top 10 and 12th. He has tires as well. He just couldn't go.
Now, while this has been going on back here, here's your leader, Eric Jones, but he's got somebody new in his rearview mirror. It's Daniel Suarez, who has pushed the 51 past Crafton. So, Michael, your guy that you're saying might have a shot at a first-time win, is now running in second.
Yeah, he's so impressive. And, Ralph, that truck was really loose on that first run. He got to pit road, called for the right adjustments. The team went to work. And now, Hermie, he's got something he can work with. What's Crafton saying?
He's too loose right now, Michael. They thought they made enough adjustment to get him better on the longer run, but same type of a situation last run. The longer he runs, he needs more forward drive off of that left rear. So then at least one more adjustment away from being a contender to run up front.
Yeah, we've run almost 40 laps since Matt Crafton was last off pit road, so he's within 10-15 laps of having to come back to pit road. And these guys just, again, have about 3 or 4 more laps of fuel than he does.
Eric Jones trying to take that championship lead to Phoenix and hopefully to Homestead, Miami. When everybody came to the 1.5 mile Texas Motor Speedway, the obvious choice for the win was Matt Crafton. He's won 4 of 7 already this year on the 1.5 miles. But Eric Jones is trying to have something to say about that, and he's doing a very good job of leading late into the stages here.
Oh, this is an impressive truck and an impressive run. Phil, how much you think the time in that Cup car has helped this young man today? More laps, more speed. He said he felt like the truck was easier to drive than the Cup car. He's probably learned a lot.
I think without a doubt he qualified upwards of 195 miles an hour, qualified up in the top 10 for Sunday's Cup race here at Texas. There's no doubt that it's certainly, and he's on the exact same tires, so he knows what those tires are able to do in those other cars. I just think it's making this truck drive so well.
Well, one truck that's not handling great is the 51 of Suarez. Watch this, guys, in the middle of 3 and 4.
We talked about these tires wearing out and how they would be driving sideways at 180 miles an hour. There's an example of it. The thing just stepped out on him. He was able to keep control, but that is a scary moment when you're going that fast.
And that's over 40 laps on these tires. These guys are getting really close here.
When you talk to the crew of Daniel Suarez in the 51, I asked him earlier today, what is it about him that is really becoming one of his better characteristics as a driver? They said when they first started working with him, he could tell you what the truck was doing right now. Now what he's good at is telling you what it's going to need as the race progresses. And we're seeing that here. Here he sits in second, getting into the late stages of the race. He's going to be able to tell that crew what he needs, Michael, to maybe make that run for the win you thought he had a shot at.
Yeah, and you know, Crafton is really good at doing that as well. We heard him talk earlier. The thing goes away on the left rear. I got to have more drive off that corner of the truck. As you can feel it going away, you try to predict to your crew how severely it will happen later into a run. And that's what makes a young driver like Daniel Suarez so good, is he's able to feel that, tell his crew what he thinks is going to happen, and they're able to react.
Then here comes the 0-0 of Jeb Burton down.
You know, when they got into the wall earlier, you guys showed it, had a great replay of it. They did a little damage to that right front, so they're going to come in. They knew they had to come in and get tires eventually anyway, but they're going to have to pull that fender off the right front, rubbing a little bit too much.
Now, they didn't pull it too much, Vince, just a little bit of a push there. But listen, this is a good call. Let's get our tires and make up some ground. We lost some ground when we brushed the wall. Let's see if we can run some laps on those new tires while the leaders are out there on old ones.
We saw Crafton do that before our first caution flag.
He went from a couple of seconds behind to
6 seconds ahead.
good call, right?
Absolutely.
The only thing that would bite Burton here is if the caution were to fly, but he didn't have anything to lose. He needs to gamble, take chances, and grab some track position back.
And he's probably a little bit outside his window right now. There's only 55 laps to go. He probably can't go that far, but at that point, they feel like we're going to have count on another caution flag.
You see Cameron Haley in the black and orange 13. He's listed in 9th. Gallagher right behind him in the 23. John Hunter Nemechek is in here. He's down there on the bottom on the left, and right behind him comes Sauter in the 98 running in 12.
We've seen Nemechek into the outside wall. Jeff Burton trucks sideways. This is just what we were expecting here at Texas. A lot of action.
Watching from our Chevrolet onboard camera.
We're within 10 laps of most all these guys having to come to pit road again.
Probably see Christopher Bell and Cameron Haley both stay out a little bit maybe and lead this race some. And anytime a caution flag flies during green flag pit stops, it really has a chance to jumble the order up. So we'll see how this plays out.
And talking to John Hunter Nemechek, oh, Vince, let's go right to you with the 14 to Daniel Hemrick on pit road.
Well, they've done such a nice job this season. They were top 10 earlier this year when they came here to Texas for the very first time. Really, like many others, just trying to find a good balance and a little more grip. Chassis adjustment, 4 tires and fuel for Daniel Hemrick.
Pretty solid pit work. You don't want to make any mistakes getting on pit road, on your pit stop, or getting off pit road. A speeding penalty right now with green flag pit stops would be terrible.
Well, the pressure will be on the pit crew for the 4. They're really the only ones in that top group that had a bad stop in that first round. They've got to get this one right.
Yeah, the report was there was an issue with the jack, and we saw he couldn't get the jack up, so that slowed him down. Hermie, here comes the 29 your way, a really fast truck.
Yeah, he needs front grip on the 29. That's Ryan Blaney driving this truck for BKR. It's going to be 4 tires and fuel. You see the track bar adjuster going in. 17 of Timothy Peters also on pit road. This truck's a little bit on the free side. It'll be 4 tires and fuel. Looks like air pressure only for the 17. They get the left side up. 29 is down and away. 17 will be closely behind the 88. Coming down pit road as well, Matt Crafton. The balance of this truck has been back and forth. He starts to run on the tight side, ends up needing left rear drive. Right now, it's about not making a mistake for the 88. They're going to make a wedge adjustment, and they mentioned a stagger adjustment on the 88 of Matt Crafton. Also, the wedge race going into left rear as well. They hope to hit the balance better on this stop for the 88.
How about that?
Vince.
How about that,
The
Vince?
19 of Tyler Reddick is in, getting ready to dive into the pit box. The truck is running a little bit hot, so look for him to peel a piece of tape off that front to let some air get back into it. Otherwise, they've been very pleased with the balance of this truck. No chassis adjustments, just fuel and tires for Tyler Reddick. Now, the 8 of John Hunter Nemechek, a little bit too free. They're going to make a track bar adjustment going down 1 round, 4 tires and fuel for the 8. Hermie?
The 4 truck of Eric Jones makes his way down pit road. Remember the last time they came down pit road, an issue with the jack on the left side cost them valuable track position. The right side is up. Coming around to the left side. It'll be air pressure. This truck is a little bit tight in 1 and 2. The 51 of Suarez, he was running second. This truck has been on the free side pretty much all night long. It's wedge in the right rear of the 51. 4 tires and fuel for Daniel Suarez.
Much smoother for the 4 this time.
Looked like a little bit of a hiccup on the right front, but they did have a nice transition and got that truck on his way. Talked about.
Boy, Christopher Bell has started to move up towards the front, Vince. Here he comes.
What an impressive job this rookie has done. Eddie Triconis is the crew chief, moved over from an engineering position to finish out the season with this team, and they have really done a nice job of elevating this program. 4 tires and air pressure adjustment. The truck just getting a little bit too free as they run for Christopher Bell.
And the JBL Toyota is off.
You know, when some kids show up, you just say, he's got it. And that's certainly the case with Christopher Bell. Put those new tires on, able to charge up toward the top 5. What a great run for him.
Cameron Haley into his pit box, Vince.
Coming off that career best finish last week in Martinsville where he put it in 3rd, and they were so happy and felt like they had a lot of momentum coming in here. You see the chassis adjustment there in the right rear. It's just a little bit loose in and off in 1 and 2, and 2 loose coming off in 4. So trying to give him a little bit more stability and grip with those changes.
Well, he had been the leader in the Carolina Nutback 13, and that should cycle everybody around. And Jones back to the lead. But now it's Ryan Blaney between him and Crafton with Suarez in 4th. In honor of Veterans Day, Fox Sports proudly supports Folds of Honor and its mission of providing educational scholarships to families of military members who have been killed or disabled while serving our country. For more information, visit foxsportssupports.com.
Matt Crafton's rolling. He's got a serious challenge here from Daniel Suarez. We talked about Suarez being a guy that could win this race. These guys are battling inside the top 5.
2 of the last 3 laps, Suarez was the fastest truck on the racetrack. There's Ryan Blaney, our second-place truck, right out in front of them in the blue one.
They lapped by Jordan Anderson. Jordan had a pit road penalty, had a tire get away, so he had to go do a drive-through in that 74 truck.
See Suarez go around the high side of Crafton, much like Eric Jones did early in the race to take the lead, or that's the line he was running. When he got there, Matt pulled up the racetrack, and Eric just passed him on the bottom.
Yeah, and I know with Daniel explaining to the crew what he needs, what adjustments, that thing's been loose. We've seen him sideways 3 or 4 times. Now that he's gotten it tightened up a bit, he's the fastest guy in town. Can he run up and challenge Eric Jones? Looks like he's headed that direction, Phil.
Well, he's closing right in on Blaney, isn't he?
05 of John West Talent was just on pit road about 1 lap ago to get fresh tires, so he has the freshest tires on the racetrack right now, but he finds himself 2-3 laps down.
Yeah, he's 3 down, but you can tell how much difference tires make. That's why it's going to be so fun as we run down these last 40 laps. If there's a caution within 10 to go, baby, I'm going to get me some tires.
With 5 to go, I'm coming to get tires.
Suarez finished 16th in Martinsville, only his 2nd finish outside the top 10 this season.
What an impressive young racer he's been in these trucks and in the Xfinity Series. Whatever he's driven this year, he's proven that he has the talent to win NASCAR.
Hey, what kind of statement will it be if Eric Jones can come here to Matt's house and put a win in the books on a 1.5 miles?
And I think that Matt didn't really see that one coming. The whole garage area was talking about the speed of Matt Crafton. Eric Jones said, all right, focus on him, and I'll show you something.
Well, it's definitely going to change things as this series moves on to Phoenix. We'll have that race for you next week, and then to Homestead, Miami after that, and a new 2nd place runner as Suarez moves in front of Blaney.
That's a fast Toyota right now for
It
Suarez.
is, Phil. That last lap by, even though he was battling side by side with Blaney, only about 1/10 of a second off the time that Eric Jones was able to run. How about that time by? While completing a pass, he outran Jones by 0.2 of a second.
Closing in on 30 to go. Let's update how our championship contenders are doing, beginning with Tyler Reddick. Vince.
Well, Ralph Reddick came into this championship race 13 points behind in the title chase in 3rd place. They started 17th, further back than the other 2 contenders, but they've steadily moved their way up. Tyler told me before the race, we've got to continue to put pressure on Matt and Eric and hope they make a mistake. Right now, Reddick running 5th, doing his part, but Eric Jones and Matt Crafton are both ahead of him. Hermie?
Well, Vince, the 88 of Matt Crafton currently 4th on the racetrack, and his truck has been okay, but certainly not great. The last time he came down pit road, his truck had actually moved a little bit to the tight side. They made a wedge adjustment to try to free him up a little bit, but they also had a little bit of a hiccup on the left rear on the pit stop. They lost a lug nut, lost some track position, so right now he is 4th with some ground to make up. But right now for our leader and championship leader, Eric Jones, the 4, his truck is about what he wants right now. It's tight during the middle of the run. It gets neutral at the end of a fuel run, which is exactly what Eric wants. They struggled on their prior green flag pit stop, but this last time down pit road, a very good stop, no issues. He gained some more track position out front right now. Smooth sailing for Eric Jones.
Well, and don't forget, Eric Jones led 647 laps in the first 10 races of this year. Then he led only 55 laps the last 10 races before tonight. However, he's already picked up the bonus point for leading a lap, and there's no way anybody's going to lead more laps than him, so he got the bonus point for that.
He's tracking to double the amount of laps he's led in the last 10 races. So this team is back on target as far as the way the truck runs. But he's got a fast closing Daniel Suarez behind him. Be interesting to see if Suarez can get there.
Watching Blaney here in third, and what a racing family he comes from. Father Dave Blaney, Uncle Dale Blaney, a great sprint car racer in his own right, and of course, grandfather Lou Blaney, already in the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame for his exploits behind the wheel of an open wheel machine. Great racing family from the Midwest.
You can see going off into the first turn, that was Suarez. He's already put half the straightaway on Blaney as he continues to close in on our leader, Eric Jones.
Suarez is the fastest truck on the racetrack every single lap.
Jones doing what you have to do to win the championship. Come into the mile and a half and deny Crafton. The UFC returns to FS1 with a full card of action, headlined by what should be a wild rematch between middleweight contenders Vitor Belfort and Dan Henderson. After splitting their first two bouts against each other, it all comes down to this. UFC Fight Night begins tomorrow, 7 Eastern on FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Wow. The third battle in their epic trilogy. These two go at it. They're getting a little bit up in age, but heck, when I watch those fights, I think I could still beat somebody up. And I'm getting up there.
They split the first two?
They did. This is the rubber match.
Getting down to 25 to go here at Texas. Eric Jones coming off of a top 10 run in Martinsville where he said, we've got to get better. And he's doing it here on a racetrack where everybody thought it would be Matt Crafton's race.
It's almost like he heard us talk about the fact that Suarez was the fastest truck because the last 2 or 3 laps, Jones has been the fastest truck. Opened up that lead to over 3 seconds again.
Suarez has found himself like Jeb Burton and Spencer Gallagher here battling side by side with a lot of traffic that he's been able to sort through, but he's lost some ground to our leader Jones, like you said, Phil.
Here's John Hunter Nemechek in the 8 with Sauter. They are running 11th and 12th. Sauter's in that 98 working the bottom groove. Vince, we've seen trouble for John Hunter Nemechek throughout the course of the evening with that number 8. He smacked the wall at one point. How's that truck running now?
Well, he's really frustrated because it is so loose. He's frustrated because they said they were going to go big on the adjustments before, and it just continues to be way too free. He says, I can't run it anywhere near where I want. Have to stay up on the top because it's too loose. If you're going to tell me you're going to go big with an adjustment, go big. He's been very frustrated with the way that truck is handling right now.
In talking with him earlier today, one of the things he said is, yes, we're going for wins in these last 3 races, but we're also doing a lot to try to figure out what we need to run for the championship next year as far as the driver with the team.
And I talked to Joe Nemechek, the owner of the team. He said, we need budget. He said, we are doing it on a shoestring budget. If we could get the money that the top teams have, we could go win the championship. Winning a race already this year for that young man and the talent that he's shown behind the wheel, I believe every word he's saying.
The last 11 races, top 15 finishes for that team, so they have the consistency.
And when you're loose at this place, man, is it a handful because you have to carry so much speed through the corners. Driving these things sideways, man, it's a challenge and scary. And that's what John Hunter's doing when he's going up that high lane, just trying to find grip anywhere he can get it.
How about Ben Kennedy? We haven't had a chance to talk about Ben too much tonight, but he's been running solid up in the top 10, sits in 9th right now.
Yeah, 3rd place at Las Vegas in our last mile and a half. Solid run there for Ben.
We talk about Ben, Vince, and how steady he is. He's got a good truck here again.
Yeah, and you know, he had a 10th place finish when they were here in June, so they had expectations coming into this one. Started out a little bit too loose, but Scott Zipadelli fixed him up with adjustments on that first stop, and they've been rock solid since.
Love that, and also love our championship battle. How about Eric Jones, Matt Crafton, and Tyler Reddick? All three of them running inside the top 5.
And we have reached the Camping World 20 to go. So what happens from here? And will there be a plot twist in this championship story?
And remember, the very top of the show, we talked about these 3 competitors, how we've talked about them as championship contenders since the very first race at Daytona. And as you mentioned, Michael, all 3 of them again here in the top 5.
And that just tells you the talent and the consistency of those 3 racers.
Daniel Suarez has finished a career best of second twice. Can he change that here tonight, or will it go to Jones? All right, Jay, Dan, thanks. We'll be getting back to you here in just a little bit because we are down inside 15 laps to go. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series here at Texas Motor Speedway. Just 3 races left in the championship chase for 2015. Eric Jones in the number 4, right behind Spencer Gallagher, who we're watching from, is the points leader and the race leader here tonight.
Yeah, Spencer Gallagher's trying to stay on the lead lap right now. Eric Jones has caught him and started to put him a lap down, and then Spencer actually got back around him. I'm not sure that he's not in conservation mode right now, Michael. I'm trying to save a little bit of fuel. He's got just over a 2-second lead on Suarez. Suarez has been able to knock a second off that lead.
Yeah, and look at this heavy traffic that Jones is getting ready to be faced with. The orange truck just behind him there. No one in between our leader right now. He's going to have to cut through this traffic because Suarez is cutting into this lead.
On board with Jones, and that Toyota onboard camera giving you a great view as he tries to hustle through the traffic. Put some trucks between him and the man pursuing him back there in that orange 51. You get a good lap, a good look at the gap. Just 2 trucks between them right now.
A couple of laps ago, it was over 3 seconds of a lead. He's cut it down to under 2 now. And he can see Eric Jones up there just a couple of lap trucks ahead.
And these are good trucks that don't want to go a lap down. Johnny Sauter and Spencer Gallagher. Nice move by Suarez to get by a couple lap trucks.
Gets 2 trucks, 1 move, and Suarez continues to close. Jones trying to get around Sauter. He does.
Gallagher's done an amazing job holding off our leader, Eric Jones, but that's knocked Jones's rhythm off. And when you lose your rhythm in a big place like this, it's sometimes hard to get it back. I think Gallagher's just running on the straightaways right where Jones wants to be, and it's messing up his angle into the corners.
10 laps remain here at Texas.
Eric Jones would desperately like to get by Spencer Gallagher. Not able to do it once again. Gallagher has the momentum from the high side.
Crafton runs in 4th, Reddick runs in 5th, and Jones pulls away on the bottom here from Gallagher.
I think that might have been a little help from the spotter saying, hey, Spencer, how about giving us a little bit of a break here? Because you could hear him back off noticeably.
Suarez, who has finished 2nd twice in his career, once again wondering if he's going to have a shot to go to victory lane.
Hey, the pace Jones has been setting, he's put a lot of trucks a lap down. There's only 11 trucks on the lead lap. Again, we're inside of 10 laps to go here, but we talk about how important tires are. If we would get a caution flag now, I think they all come to pit road.
On pace for the fastest race in history, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series here at Texas.
There's Daniel, a couple of trucks between he and our leader, Eric Jones. Talked to Jerry Baxter about this young man, Phil, and he just thinks he has talent galore to go out and be a champion in NASCAR. And that's so cool to see a kid show up and have the ability to adapt to these heavy stock cars and trucks the way that Daniel Suarez has. But he's going to run out of laps if something doesn't happen here. He desperately needs a caution. He can taste that victory. Eric Jones just up ahead.
Eric Jones parlayed a little clean racetrack into about a 1/4 second faster that lap than Suarez.
How about this domination? This is back the Eric Jones that we saw at the beginning of the season, leading
First 10 races.
lap after lap after lap.
Seven laps remaining. As you ride with Jones, make it 6 now.
Got a little bit of traffic out in front of him now. Needs to tiptoe his way around them.
Are we okay?
Wow. white truck sideways in front of him.
You think we're for sure okay on fuel, right, Phil? We haven't gone as far as we're going to have to the checker flag. But they should be able to go that far, huh?
Eric will have to run 49 laps of his last pit stop. Assuming they got that truck full, he should be able to go 49 laps, but not very many more than 49 laps.
5 circuits remain around the mile-and-a-half oval. Up onto the high side of the 63 of Jennings.
Still maintains about 2-second lead over Suarez.
Watch how crazy it's been with the 63's handling.
That was 1 lap ago. Watch that white truck. That's Justin Jennings. Gets sideways up off the corner.
Eric Jones is watching every bobble that 63 truck was making just to know which way he would have to go if something came apart on that truck, but he was able to hold it together. But look, Jennings has got some good speed. He's running right along with these guys.
4 laps remain, soon to be 3. Suarez has got to get around Gallagher. That's his next challenge.
There's a 97 of Jesse Little. Jesse's had a solid run here, running up in the top 15, just 1 lap down right now. And right in front of him, John Hunter Nemechek. That's the 11th place truck.
How about Jesse Little and John Hunter Nemechek? Probably used to play in the infield of these races. Both their dads are NASCAR racers, and now they're out there showing their talent.
He'll go to the inside of the 97 of Little. Next time by, 2 to go. And next week, we get to see Rico Abreu, just announced as a driver of the NTS truck for Phoenix and Homestead. Another strong challenger entering the field.
And how about if Eric Jones can win this race here at Texas and go to Phoenix, where he's 2 for 2. Been there twice, won twice.
And the challenge changes, doesn't it? It goes from Jones trying to defend to Jones having all the momentum heading into the final 2 rounds. Eric Jones, 1.5 laps remaining.
If he can get to the start-finish line before the caution comes out, we know there won't be.
White coming back no matter what. Coming back no matter what.
You heard it, coming back no matter what.
That's what he wanted to hear. Because when the checkers fell at Martinsville and he was in 10th, this team knew, even though they were the points leaders, they needed to step up their game. And the daunting task in front of them was coming to a 1.5-mile track where Crafton had been so strong. Well, they didn't sit on the pole, but they led a lap, led the most laps, and now have led the one that means the most. Eric Jones wins in Texas.
Right there. We're back. We're back. Let's go. Honda Motor Racing hurt for this here. Thanks, guys.
Yes, they are back and strong with his 7th career win and his 38th career start.
Domination. And oh, I'm sure it feels so good, especially with the uncertainty they had among themselves when they left Martinsville. Was Crafton truly going to get on that roll that would take the championship lead away from them?
He gets his first win here in Texas in what is now the 2nd fastest truck race in NASCAR Camping World Truck Series history. Eric Jones is headed to victory lane. We're headed to LA. We'll be right back for more, but first, here's our buddies Jay and Dan.
Ralph, terrific call of that Jones victory down the stretch in Texas. Fox Sports Live right here. Jay here, Dan there. We're going to get you back out to Texas for victory lane ceremonies in seconds for more on that big win by Eric Jones.
And coming up, more heat for Greg Hardy. We're going to preview the huge matchup between LSU and Bama. And Peter Schrager is going to be back with his latest installment of Schrager Bolts.
But for now, back to the track. Phil's there, Michael's there. Ralph, seriously, on that last lap, what a call. You're a pro.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. It was a big win and a very important one for Eric Jones as this series now moves off the 1.5 to the mile at Phoenix, Hermie.
Rudy Fugle is the crew chief. You guys have had a little bit of a struggle this summer finding the speed, but you guys came back out tonight and dominated like you did the early part of the season. What made the difference tonight?
Just a ton of hard work. Everybody at KBM, everybody at Toyota. and working our butts off. You know, we struggled for speed, but we've raced really, really well and done everything we needed to do. And now we got this back, and I think we're back and go out and finish this thing, you know, one race at a time. Phoenix and Homestead, we're ready to go.
We're going to victory lane. He led 117 laps tonight.
14th win for Toyota here at Texas, the most for any of the manufacturers. And there's Daniel Suarez once again. He's second.
That's his owner right there, Kyle Busch. By the way, the owner of the trucks that finished first and second tonight, Kyle Busch.
First 1-2 finish of the 2015 season. Only the second time that's ever happened here at Texas, Vince.
Daniel Suarez finishes second. So close. Again, third time he's finished second. Haven't been able to get it to victory lane, but Kyle Busch put his head in the window right away. What was the message from the owner?
Definitely. I mean, he's been teaching me a lot of things. I'm very thankful with him because in the beginning of the year I was struggling a lot, and then I started to talk to him, you know, 3 days, 4 days, every time before the race, and I feel like we start improving a lot. So I'm very lucky to have friends like him and to have a support from someone who has a lot of experience like him. But man, good job, man. Thank you. I'm happy for the team. I feel like we're close, man. I don't know. We just have to keep digging. We have to keep ourselves in the same track, and our win is going to come. And I'm sure it's going to come this year. I can't thank enough everyone in Jockey Racing, Cardboard Motorsports, Harris, Toyota, everyone in Mexico who has been supporting me a lot. Telcel, Telmex, Camping War for the great support, and all the fans for all the great support all night long.
Daniel Suarez second tonight.
Well, there's no doubt that career first win isn't too far off.
He's got 3 Xfinity races and 2 more truck races this year to get it done.
Yeah, and he thinks it's going to happen this year, and we do too, Phil. We just love what we see out of him, not only his ability behind the wheel, but his enthusiasm and his energy for getting this chance to go out and compete in NASCAR.
Well, it has been an interesting night here as far as the championship. Jones is headed to victory lane, and Crafton ends up 4th tonight, Vince.
And lost some points in the championship. You know, it's tough when you run top 5 and it's just not good enough. 4th tonight. What were you missing, if anything?
Oh, we were a little too free on the first 2 runs, and then we just over-adjusted on the last run, and it just got pretty tight right there at the end for whatever reason. Like I said, we just jumped the other side of the fence. But all in all, not a bad day from our Toyota Tundra. It was decent, but like I said, not quite as good as we needed to be. So let's go on to Phoenix and go from there.
Matt Crafton, 4th tonight, Ralph.
Well, our Ram Guts and Glory back in June. Eric Jones had some issues, guys, but a little different tonight.
He had some speed. He led a bunch of races, but he had electrical issues. Had to change the battery a couple times.
But tonight it was a different story. There was not one foot put in the wrong place all throughout this race here in Texas, and his team said it best, Rudy Fugle, we're back. That's exactly what they are.
And you know they can't wait to get to Phoenix next week.
And I can't wait to either, because Matt Crafton's going to have the same determination that Eric Jones has when we get there.
His previous best finish here at Texas was 11th, but tonight, Hermie, he's in victory lane.
This will be quite a celebration for Eric Jones and the 4 team. You guys mentioned the troubles he had at Texas earlier this year, really earlier this season. I talked to your crew chief, Rudy Fugle. He says this team is back because a lot of hard work by our team, patience by our driver. Talk about the turnaround this team has had over the last couple weeks.
Well, we went through a lot of ups and downs here over the past, really the past couple months, and trying to get back into this championship hunt, and now getting our Tundra back in there. It's pretty awesome. It's quite a swing of ups and downs, but it's nice to be back in victory lane here, especially in Texas, a place I love. But man, it would not be possible without Toyota, everybody involved, TRD, KBM Chassis, Joe Gibbs Racing, and it's JBL Interstate, Batteries, Camp World. Thanks to fans. It's just so cool to win here. Tundras are built in San Antonio, so that's cool to get kind of a hometown win for these guys.
You led 117 laps tonight to get back to victory lane. Assess now how you feel towards Phoenix and Homestead now that you've had this kind of a performance at Texas.
Yeah, definitely excited. Me and Kyle were talking earlier this week, and just kind of talking about how these next 3 tracks are really good for KBM, good for myself. So next, going into Phoenix, we're undefeated there. We're 2-0, so hopefully we can pick up another one next week.
And you've got a lot of work left to do this weekend. Triple duty, Xfinity race, and Cup race. How you assess your chances and what kind of emotions you have competing in all three of those events this weekend?
Well, it's going to be quite a weekend, and this is quite a way to start it off. So hopefully tomorrow night we can get us another win in the Xfinity Series. And the Cup Series, I don't know. I don't have enough experience there to tell you how that's going to go, but I think we got a good Camry over there, and we'll just see how everything plays out this weekend. But I couldn't be more excited to be running 2 more races here.
That's Eric Jones. He's in victory lane at Texas. Vince?
Tyler Reddick, 5th tonight, and the disappointment is obvious on your face. And you told me before the race day, we need to put pressure on Matt and Eric and hope that they made a mistake. It's a shame that 5th isn't good enough to do it, but how would you assess the night?
Well, obviously, I knew we weren't going to be great in qualifying, but we were a little bit worse than what we expect out of our Stony Creek Records F-150. And it's a real shame that, you never want cautions in a race, but, we really did not fire good on that restart. And we fell back, but we did come to life later in the run. Just unfortunate we didn't get enough cautions to really actually get back up there. I think we had a good piece once it strung out. The problem was I was so far back in dirty air on that one restart that we were just too tight. We probably would have been okay if we were farther up. But the way this race shakes out, they're a little bit shorter than some of the other ones. But in the end, we came home 5th with a clean truck. And the beast that we're going to take to Homestead still lives. So I'm excited to get that truck there.
Good luck. Tyler Reddick finishes 5th tonight here at Texas. Now 21 points behind in the championship battle, Ralph.
Yeah, Vince, let's take a look at those points. Here's how they shake out. Matt Crafton now 17 behind Jones. You heard Reddick, 21 markers back. And they're going to take that championship fight on to Phoenix next week, and we'll be there for them.
Yeah, you see those 17 points. Certainly not insurmountable. We saw Matt Crafton gain 13 points at Martinsville last week, so anything can happen with 2 to go here. It's still a battle.
Yeah, and when you get to a track like Phoenix, there's just so much traffic. I mean, it's short track racing at high speed, and it's a lot of fun to watch these trucks operate there. Jones has been really fast, but watch for Crafton. Maybe the type of energy Jones came to Texas with after getting his rear end kicked at Martinsville, Matt will go to Phoenix with.
Jones still has 2 more races to go. He'll qualify and race the Xfinity Series tomorrow. And then on Sunday, he's going to start 6th in the NASCAR Sprint Cup race.
Yeah, outstanding performance so far in a Cup car.
Let's hear from Ryan Blaney, who drove a great race tonight, Vince. He came across the line in 3rd.
He did. He's already put 1 in victory lane this season, and another top 5 run tonight, 3rd place. How would you assess the way things went for you guys this evening?
Well, we got progressively better throughout the night. We didn't qualify great. We qualified 15th, and we were able to get up there fairly quick. And Chad Kendrick did a good job of getting us better throughout the night. That's really all you can ask for, is try to get better. And we got a couple spots there on the last pit stop, which was good. They did a good job in the pits, and we just weren't really able to hang with the 4, and 51 got by us. And they had a ton of long run speed, and I think that's where we struggled. We could hang with them for 10, 15 laps, and then they start to pull away. But I can't thank Brad Keselowski and Cooper Standard, career veterans on the truck, enough for having me in it. It was a lot of fun. Hopefully we'll get Austin Theriault back in it here soon and let him finish out the year.
Yeah, well done. Good to see Ryan Blaney in the 29 tonight. He finishes 3rd.
A lot of talent in that young man. And the party continues in Victory Lane, and Eddie Gossage, the track president here, certainly throws a party when it comes to Victory Lane.
Things are on fire down there.
Hey, next week, we're going to go to Brian Sperber's racetrack. He's the president over at Phoenix International Raceway. We're looking forward to it. We sure hope he can join us Friday, November 13th. For Hermie Sadler, and of course, for Vince Welch, Michael Waltrip, Phil Parsons, I'm Ralph Shaheen. So long. Congratulations, Derek Jones.